Hello and welcome to today's Polkadot Open Gov video where I'll be discussing the latest proposals added in the discussion phase and also active referendums. Now unfortunately today we don't have any new referendums on Polkadot and there haven't been any changes with regards to the existing ones, and so I'm going to look at Kusama because we do have one which did cause a bit of a drama and chaos in the ecosystem. So chaos is just perfect because it's on Kusama. So let's kick it off here with proposal 1960 in discussion. Which is launched by Alzymologist, and this is for the Finnish Kalatori, which is a fish market. Now, the reason for this specific proposal is to request funding for plugins for e-commerce platforms. Okay, so we're going to look at this first, and then we'll take a look at the Kusama one. So just to summarize here, they're saying it's surprising for a blockchain protocol being in production for several years already, and that there are no existing self-custodial solutions to integrate DOT as payments into any of the major e-commerce platforms. Like, are we seriously talking about adoption when there's no readily available tooling to sell material objects for DOTs? So they're saying here that we found it the hard way. We've allocated only a week for our shop.campay.la to go live prior to us announcing Campella dev kits pre-orders at Sub-Zero, and we've barely made it, having to quickly hack a DOT payments processing system for OpenCart instead of our original plan of we just deployed the most used of the existing ones. There were none. Neither there were any for Magento or Shopify. So with this application, we're proposing to fix this. We'll build plugins for the top 3 e-commerce SaaS platforms and top 5 FOSS e-commerce engines to support seamless and self-custodial DOT payments processing and set price in DOTs or use your platform's currency converter, providing the exchange rates for that is out of scope for the current application. Now ask visitors' wallet extension to sign the transaction or just provide them an address to pay to if none are found. Also wait for the transaction to finalize and get your order marked as paid in the admin backend of your shop. Development will require 16 weeks with a team of 4 developers, 1 Rust backend engineer, 1 JavaScript, PHP, Ruby front-end engineer, an integrations engineer, DevOps, and a UI UX designer. All work results will be provided as FOSS license repos on GitHub, with released artifacts being published in relevant plugin marketplaces if applicable, and verbose, easy to follow deployment instructions provided when there is none. They're saying that their expectation is that enabling people receiving DOTs as payment in e-commerce will have a positive, even if hard to predict under the current market conditions, impact on adoption, while putting DOT in the same league with Bitcoin and Ethereum, while being significantly more convenient due to short block times and deterministic finality when it comes to receiving crypto payments without the need for trusted intermediaries. And here you could see an example of what they've already worked on here with regards to the milestones, and also their website here, shop.camle.la. And these are the technical details which we're not going to look at, but just to take a quick look at the website here, you could see they've got the hardware signer for Polkadot ecosystem, which is called Campella. So this is the hardware implementation of Polkadot Vault, which can be bought in DOT if you decide to buy it, and it gives you more information here. So yeah, they just wanted to show here that they have made it possible for people to purchase products using DOT. Now to go back to this here, they're saying that these are the platform choices that they're gonna be working with here: WooCommerce, Magento, PrestaShop, OpenCart, and Solidus. So they're going to be providing plugins for all of these. So they're warning us here that extension stores for SaaS platforms are fully controlled by their vendors, and if the owners don't approve, we can't provide Kalatori plugins. However, we'll still publish all relevant sources on GitHub under an appropriate FOSS license and leave it up to individual SaaS customer to resolve their deployment issues with the vendor. Also Squarespace, online stores, Shopify, and Wix stores. So yeah, the idea here is that they're gonna create the plugins, they're gonna make them available for us to use, but they're not gonna try, they can't guarantee that they're gonna get these integrated for sure or approved. So it's up to somebody else to try and fight this and try to get this approved if they don't manage to do it themselves. So that's one of the challenges here, and I'm happy that they have put this warning here because it does help voters make a wiser decision before supporting this kind of proposal. But yeah, the idea overall looks pretty good. I mean, I'm in support of this specific proposal. These are the different milestones that they're looking to create here for this. Milestone 1 for 2 weeks, milestone 2 for 8 weeks, and milestone 3 for 6 weeks, With regards to the costs, so they're going to be charging a lot of money here. $18,800 per month for a Rust backend engineer. A front-end engineer is $17,100 per month. Integrations engineer and DevOps $17,100 per month. And a UI UX designer part-time $6,000 per month for part-time. Wow, that is quite a lot. I mean, the idea is good. I'm in support of the idea, but these salaries seem extremely high here. I do understand that Rust developers are extremely expensive. I know they charge like $150 per hour, last I heard. And yeah, the total for this is 236,000 euros. I keep saying dollars, but it's actually euros. Yeah, I'm just so used to using dollars in crypto all the time. But yeah, it's going to be more than 200. It's going to be around $250,000 in the end. So as usual with our treasury applications, the company receiving the funds is Alzymologist OY, a registered Finnish company with a business ID as well. All personnel listed above would be directly employed by Alzymologist OY, and all relevant Finnish taxes are already included in the figures. So the taxes in Finland must be pretty high. I know from another guy who invests in crypto and lives in Finland. He's a guy in my community for quite some time. He told me that the taxes over there are like 40%. So I can understand kind of why the prices are so high here, because they are taking that into consideration. With the 40% cut here, it's going to be quite harsh in the sense that they're not going to get anywhere near these amounts, but they need these amounts in order to cover for that. So yeah, I guess that kind of explains why they're asking for so much as well. And this is the team that has worked on the first milestone here in 2022. You can see the project manager, the Rust engineer, and all that sort of information here. But yeah, let me know what you think about this one. Will you be supporting it, or do you think the salaries are too high? Do you think the cost is too high? Do you think it's going to bring enough value for the ecosystem by having these plugins and to enable developers to connect to e-commerce platforms? I think it's good, but yeah, let me know. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. But next, let's move on and talk about an interesting scenario here that happened on Kusama recently. This is a funny one, actually. So Decent Partners, who's a company that's got an employee that used to work for Edgeware and also for Kabucha. One is a solo chain and one is a parachain on Kusama. He created this referendum with a request to kill the treasury. And by killing the treasury, what I mean is that he's going to set the balance to 0. If we look at this utility force batch here, you could see the extrinsic that is calling here. And this is a balance is force set balance of the treasury to 0. Okay, so nothing in the treasury. And aside from that, there are a few more calls here. And he's also added a system remark there as well as the other call. So yeah, I mean, this is a crazy one. And the reason why he decided to do this is because he doesn't agree with how the treasury is being spent on Kusama, and I think on Polkadot too, but he's going with Kusama here. So as you can see, he's not getting any support here. So 202,987 nay votes in KSM and only 47,869 in support. But still, seeing 47,869 in support is quite concerning here, because it just shows us that there are many people that don't agree with the treasury spends right now. And to be fair, for some proposers, it has been pretty wild. So I can understand that too, that there were proposals that I didn't personally agree with and they still got funding. But that's life. I mean, that's how it works. We just have to put up with it. This is the decentralized nature of Open Gov. But with regards to the decision deposit here, in order to place a decision deposit for the root track, you need 3,333 Kusama, which is a lot. It may not be worth that much more now as it used to be some time ago, but it's still a lot. And yeah, just to look at this proposal before here, let's see. So why set fire to $5 million worth of Kusama? It probably wouldn't even have that value though, because imagine if you were to actually sell that on the market, it would drop significantly. So in this case, we're talking about just eliminating the treasury completely. So it wouldn't actually impact what's in circulation. So they're saying here that network treasuries are a bad idea. They don't like how people have been getting a lot of Kusama. They think that there are many grifters in the ecosystem. Too many people got paid from the treasury. And so, yeah, they're also saying here that they will be able to afford that decision deposit if their other referendum, which is referendum 289 and is currently in voting, if that passes, they're saying here that they'll immediately commit 3,333 KSM to the decision deposit for referendum 293. And what's even more fun, if this is this then creates an interesting incentive for those currently on the fence or now wanting to see 289 pass, since the community can also vote to slash the decision deposit. This would have the effect of recouping 1/3 of the requested funds. In the end, we're putting our money where our mouth is. Wow, yeah, so that's interesting. So and then they've mentioned Adam Stieber's post here as well with regards to the referendum killers. He is the referendum killer because he's the one that created this referendum to request to slash the proposer's deposit here, as you can see. And so, yeah, they're basically planning to kill the bird and resurrect the phoenix. Okay, kill the canary and bring the rebirth of the phoenix. And if we look at their actual proposal here, this is the Decent Partners proposal, which they are losing with. They're looking here for £103,000 with VAT included. That would be £123,600, leading up to a total of £161,000 in total. Richard Welsh is the creator of this proposal. So this is the reason for the requested funding here. So they're saying that this is a retroactive funding request for Decent Partners on Off-Chain Collective. The funding covers work completed and ongoing over 12 to 14 months. The work covers a full stack of R&D infrastructure, application layer, and talent relations. Funding covers minimal operational overhead and funds next phase development. Next phase onboards influential creators across art, music, and sports as creator collectives to Kabocha. So this is the referendum that I've been discussing with Adam during the .take episode as well, but I just wanted to revisit this in case you haven't watched that episode, just to show you what he was requesting this funding for and how he's planning to split all the different costs here, as you can see, the infrastructure and all this sort of stuff. But what I want to look at here is some of the comments, which I found really funny here. LOL, is this some kind of joke? So this is a funny one here saying, I can't quite make sense of what is being proposed here or what you are asking to be compensated for. Is this an invoice or a proposal? I don't think you've done a good job of explaining what is the value of created for the community or why we should vote to give you $161,000. I'm also quite put off by what reads like an attempt to buy votes with a promise of NFTs given to voters after the proposal is approved. I'm relatively new to the community, so maybe I'm misunderstanding something, but it seems like bribery to me. So yeah, he got a response here. A grifting proposal, so fully against it. Bill Laboon says, I do not see the benefit of this proposal, of this treasury proposal, and have voted nay. Jose says big nay. He also runs a validator. He says here, nothing here to fund. Grifters don't add anything good to the network. Sean Tabrizi, again, a guy that used to work with Parity, says, I voted nay on this proposal. As others have noted, Rich is a known grifter in the community and has a history of doing so. I've heard stories of his similar antics in the Edgeworth community before he moved on to targeting the Kusama community. While I do not claim that everything that comes from Reach is nonsense, I'm absolutely confident that funding him and Decent Partners will not result in any notable value for the Polkadot and Kusama community. From my perspective, he's a loud voice who is able to rant and nauseam about philosophy and economics, but is not actually a valuable source of technical or social insight. Let's hope his time grifting our community is short, but if not, let's make sure it is not profitable. So yeah, I also oppose this proposal as I'm not convinced that it would benefit Kusama. BLD Note says, this is always so much fun to have a richest proposal. I think he means there's always so much fun to have a richest proposal, but this one seems lacking the hundreds of pages of legendary text you use this. This is why I'm voting nay, to keep encouraging entertainment at the top level. Don't see the value, nay, from Alex Mitrovic from Unique Network. Anti-grifter. The anti-grifter movement is fully against this proposal. This is a really good one. I love this. I love that people have created these kind of accounts just for the fun, you know. Like in the bear markets, we don't see enough fun, and we see a lot of that fun with Open Gov on Kusama and Polkadot, right? We had the Hackna involvement not too long ago on Kusama, you know, to stop people from grifting the treasury. Apparently, he was only supporting the technical proposals. And now we've got other people jumping in here. Sean Tabrizi has become extremely active in these referendums now. So yeah, following great leaders like Sean Tabrizi will oppose Rich and on-chain votes and seek a blockchain-wide ban in Polkadot and Kusama. Grifters like Rich spread negativity, troll, and need higher standards for re-entry. Implementing Tabrizi's suggestion, Sybil resistance, limiting messages and posts, and banning identified grifters with a 2-year locked reward proposal. So he's quoting Shantabrizi there on civil resistance. This reminds me so much of I Am Rich on Wikipedia. So yeah, as you can see, this is quite an interesting one here, but yeah, it's unlikely gonna pass, right? I don't think it's gonna pass. If it does, if he has something up his sleeve and he does manage to get this proposal to pass, which would then give him enough funding to place that decision deposit and kill the Kusama Treasury, that could be quite interesting because it just shows us that there is maybe a movement behind Richard who is in support of that or who has always wanted something like this, but didn't have the courage to stand up to it and come out, right? Come out in front and make noise. And so Rich has been the one to make noise here, which takes a lot of courage. I'm not going to lie here, because every time you want to make noise, especially in an ecosystem, you're going to be faced with a lot of rejection, a ton of rejection. Obviously, I don't agree with this specific proposal here and what he's trying to do, nor do I agree with this proposal where he's trying to request so much money for what he's done for the ecosystem, because I don't believe there has been enough value provided to request this amount of money, you know. But yeah, he has a lot of knowledge of the ecosystem, but I just don't think that he's actually worth this much money for what he's actually done, right? So yeah, I mean, sure, he could ask for something, you know, for his work and effort. I don't disagree there, but just with this specific amount, I think it's way too much. So yeah, this is my take on this. It's been an interesting one. Thank you for watching, and please drop me a comment below. What do you think of this specific proposal? And yeah, are you looking forward to more drama? See you in the next one. Bye bye.